You trying to break some habits that are not serving you to really improve your self-esteem, your confidence, your self-love, and overall growth and help you reach your goals? Well, today I'm going to talk about breaking habits that are not serving you. Disclaimer: any of the guidance offered by the podcast host, myself, or the podcast guests is our own guidance. We are not liable for any of the actions the podcast listener decides to do. Welcome back to the podcast today, and thank you so much for being here. I want to talk about breaking bad habits, which is something it's still a work in progress. I'm a human being, right? But yeah, particularly around New Year, as you know, in January, I'm currently recording this, and people are like, right, I want to get out of these bad habits, like maybe food, maybe something to do with like mental consumption of like bad content, or maybe it's like the way you treat yourself, whatever it is. I know a lot of us can have bad habits because we're human beings, right? And I often see, like, I've made this mistake many times of like, I'm going to use willpower and I'm going to add in 100 new habits and get rid of 100 bad habits. I don't think I've had 100 bad habits at a time, but like, you know what I mean? That's what people say. Like, I've spoken to people and they go through the same cycles. I've been through the same cycles. Like, you get really good. It's like, I'm going to go on a fast, I'm going to eat well. And then they do it. And then they're like, now I've gone to shit again. And it's the same cycle again and again and again. And it just doesn't serve us, I've personally found. So I wanted to share perspective on this and what I learned from the book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've done stupid stuff and also a bit about sabotage as well today, because I know like people are like, I keep getting a bad habit, I'm self-sabotaging myself. Like, I've done stupid stuff like overspending, and it's like unconscious, it's subconscious, a lot of it. And in dating relationships, said stupid stuff, done stupid stuff. You know, I got like too drunk, said stupid stuff, and I was like, I know I shouldn't have said that. Or like damaged my relationship with myself, done all sorts of things, like financially, book play, all these kind of things, right? And I'm like, why did I do that? And this book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza, really allowed me to see this. Also learning from some amazing people like Peter Sage. Now, Joe Dispenza's book is like highly scientific, so it's not just like a woo-woo theory, is what I love about it. And I want to share some messages from it, but these are going to be in the form of a message from it, but practical guidance for breaking out of certain habits. So the first one I wanted to talk about is that if you go into the book and read the book, and if you want further understanding on what I'm talking about today, read the book or listen to the book. I just wanted to pause and ask a quick question. Do you sometimes find emotions overwhelming and challenging? And you really want to improve your mental health? You want to get your habits in order? Totally been there many, many times. And that's the benefit of Live Well Coaching. They offer so many different services and ways of improving your wellness, your well-being, your mental health, and really getting on top of your habits. Now, the great thing is they have a membership that you can be part of month to month. And if you use the code Johnny50, you can receive 50% on your first 3 months off. All you got to do is click in the link in the show notes below. That will apply that 50% off if you use Johnny50. Now, let's get you back to the show. Or you can watch a YouTube on it. All right. We are, and the world is 99% atom, 1% particle. Different than that. It's like 99.9999999 recurring percent atom, and like 0.0000000 with a load of zeros on percent particle. And the particle is like the practical, what we can see, all these kind of things, right? What's around us, what's actually happening. And the atom is like energy and like all this around us. And what it created the awareness for me is the majority of it, therefore, if it's 99% plus, is energy, which is possibility of things that could happen, is that needs a lot more focus. Therefore, if you're just like practically trying to like fight the 0.001% and not doing like the work on your energy and possibility and how you're feeling about yourself, you're just like doing that, then that's limiting you. So instead, start thinking about
how, and this is like my foundation point, and the other two are more into the habit side. Start thinking about how you can tune more into your energy, how you're feeling. Like, and that's going to be a mixture of just drinking the right things, eating the right things, and consuming the right stuff mentally, and hang out with the right people. So if you can start getting habits that are going to, and we'll go into practical points on breaking bad habits next. If you're not getting into habits that are going to allow you to do more of the inner stuff than trying to like fight everything like in the outer world all the time. I'm not saying don't practically take action. You got to go to a job. You got to, talk to people, interact with people. You got to like physically like work out, all these kind of things, right? And that is the part that is like what is actually in the world. But if you can start working more on the energy side of things and focusing on how you're feeling, that's going to impact a lot more on what's showing up. So that's just a foundation point. Read a book. I know it's quite a heavy point, but read the book or listen to the book. I'd highly recommend. Number two, what Joe talks about, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about in the book, is that the body is the subconscious mind. So often we think, right, I'm just going to start a new habit or break a new habit with my mind, but we don't do anything with the body. Now, things like breath work, meditation, all sorts of modalities like hypnotherapy, all these kind of things can go into the body a lot more. And I found things like breath work really get into my subconscious. So if you're just like from a point of like, right, I'm going to work out every day, I'm going to eat well every day, I'm going to do all these things, and your mind just thinking about it, that's just a conscious, and your conscious is very small compared to your subconscious, which is your body. So make sure you're doing work to address the subconscious, whether that is breath work, whether that is meditation, whatever it is, to go deeper into the body so that you can understand what's there, so you can release it, so you can feel it. Because often, well, the subconscious drives a majority of our behavior. So make sure you're connecting with the body and the subconscious mind more. And then number three, emotional mastery is key. Make sure before you start any habits or get rid of habits and stuff like that, make sure that the foundation of everything you're doing is emotional mastery. So your number one habit you should be implementing, in my personal view, and that's helped me, is some kind of emotional mastery. And what is that for you? That's going to be up to you. You could do something like breathwork every day, journaling, maybe a combination, meditation, but make sure you're doing something to work on your emotions every day. In my personal perception and view, most human beings don't. People like, the Tony Robbinses, the Peter Sages, the people I follow who are like brilliant at what they do, they like absolutely master their emotions. And that's why they're so good. The top entrepreneurs have definitely mastered their emotions and they continue to do it. But I know I haven't, like in many times in my life, and that therefore reduces that. If I'm feeling bad and not on top of my emotions, the chances that my bad habits are going to creep up increases. So make sure you've got a way of working on your emotions every single day. Most people, it's like, I'm not saying you need to even do it in the morning, but make some time to do it. But most people, it's like wake up, scroll, go to work or business, and like just like grind, firefighting all day. I appreciate people got different circumstances, but make sure you got some kind of emotional mastery. I know people who have got like so much going on in their lives, children, they've got like, or bigger families. They've got like businesses they own. They might own multiple businesses, maybe like a really hectic career. And they just like, they seem to have everything together all the time. And do you know what? The common thing is they always find time to master their emotions. You've always got time to master emotions. You can't ask for more time. We've all got the same amount of time, but those who really, really do well find time to master their emotions. And the thing is, a lot of us give up because it's not instant gratification. I meditated for a week and I'm now not a spiritual master. This stuff's not working. That's not how it works, right? It needs to be consistent, all right? So find time to master your emotions. That is the foundation to breaking any habit and adding in good habits as well. So those are the points I wanted to talk about breaking habits, bad habits, from the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza, which has been huge in my life. The first point I talked about was more of a realization that actually the physical world and what's going on is like less than 1%. If you're just like trying to fight everything in the practical world all the time, focusing all on there, you're not doing any inner work, any work on your energy, how you're feeling, your beliefs, what's going on, which is like over 99% of creating everything that's going on, then you're limiting yourselves. Read more about that in the book. This is just more of an awareness point. Number 2, the body is a subconscious, so make sure you're tuning into your body. You're not just coming from the mind, right? Make sure you're tuning into your body. What is down there? Feel into maybe some pain points in your body. I know, like, I did something recently. I was working through the feeling of rejection, and I went into my chest and there was a real pain there. And I went, wow, there is a subconscious thing there around the feeling of rejection. So therefore, like, I allowed myself to release that, and I felt amazing afterwards. And I just started doing so many more things. And guess what? Like, 2 more deals showed up from like things I've put out there. Right. This was maybe a recap, but I just added that extra points. I do that in flow sometimes. And then number 3, emotional mastery. So training your emotions every single day, like, no matter what. Like, I don't care what you say about your time right now. You have time to master. You have time every day to do some commitment to your I don't, like, whoever you are in the world, you have time. We all have time. The masters of their lives find times for emotional mastery. Even if it requires you, even if it's 10 minutes, waking up 10 minutes earlier, right? 10 minutes for emotional mastery a day. Just commit to it. Okay? Now, that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. And remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.